Hey everyone, I'm Peter from TOPThink, and today we're going to learn about 10 signs a girl likes you. Now, let's begin. Number 1, dilated pupils. According to leading psychologists, dilated pupils are one of the most reliable ways to tell if someone is interested in you, especially when you notice it after long periods of eye contact. This happens because of a hormone called oxytocin, also known as the love hormone. Normally, someone would experience a flood of oxytocin when they are physically intimate with someone or during childbirth, but psychologists notice that the hormone also shows up during significant instances of romantic bonding. Expressive body language, such as prolonged eye contact, creates that kind of social connection, but only if the eye contact is pleasurable and mutual. If it is, the level of oxytocin will increase in the brain and trigger the dilation of their pupils. This way, you can physically observe whether or not a girl likes you, and in some cases, even tell how much. If you notice her pupils tripling in size, it might be time to make your move. Number 2, directing your attention. Girls often show how comfortable they are with someone by making themselves more physically vulnerable, which is something girls only do around a select few people. If they aren't afraid to show off their body around you, it means they feel safe when you're there, but safety doesn't always mean attraction. The difference is whether or not she's doing it to get your attention. So how do you tell the difference between comfortable and attention-seeking behavior? The key is if she performs directed actions, which would mean she is acting with you in mind. She might crane her neck, rub her bare shoulders, put on lipstick in front of you, or puff out her chest. All of these actions are intended to draw your attention to a vulnerable part of her body and signal that she might want to be looked at specifically by you. Number 3, remembering what you like. Whether we realize it or not, we are all psychologically predisposed to remember the things we like and forget the things we don't. We have no problem memorizing our favorite music or excelling in the subjects we think are the most interesting, in the same way that we instantly forget about anything that bores us. You can actually use this same trick to tell if a girl is interested in you. If she remembers details about you from a previous conversation, not only was she interested enough to listen, but she also cared enough to commit these details to memory. You might notice her sending you funny videos about dogs because you mentioned you love dogs. Or maybe she invited you to a concert for that band you couldn't stop talking about. Either way, she's retaining and following up on the things you're interested in, meaning she really likes what she's hearing. Number 4, leaning in. Next time you're chatting with a girl you like, try this simple test. Say something to her when she's looking the other way, but pay particular attention to how she turns toward you. Does she just turn her head? Does she rotate her head and shoulders? Or does she move her entire body? This may seem insignificant, but these reactions all signal different degrees of romantic interest, based on the amount of physical investment required to do each one. The head turn is the least interactive, meaning she is not willing to commit much to what you have to say, and, therefore, may not be that interested in you. Even if she is listening, she doesn't plan on continuing the conversation, or would rather return to whatever she was doing beforehand. At the other end of the spectrum, turning and leaning forward with her whole body may suggest that she's very interested in you, because she is choosing to commit more physical effort to listen and respond. She is shifting her position in preparation for a longer conversation and plans to stay there whether you keep talking about that subject or not. If you notice her doing this often, she probably likes you. Number 5, complete attention. You can also learn a lot about the way a girl feels about you by looking at what she doesn't do when you're talking to her. When we are bored or uninterested in something, we tend to seek out distractions or anything that preoccupies our mind while we wait to do something more fun. These distractions can be anything from our phones to our thumbs, but they all signal to other people that we are, in one way or another, not completely enjoying ourselves. So, if she is choosing to forego all of these distractions to focus on you, she is trying to tell you that she's both interested in you and that you are deserving of her undivided attention. Number 6, removing barriers. Another discreet way to tell if a girl likes you involves something called a barrier. Barriers can be any object, like a cup, a purse, or a salt shaker, that stands in between you and her, almost like a tiny wall protecting her from being entirely vulnerable. You'll notice that a lot of girls use these barriers in the early stages, sliding a plate in between you to create spatial division without being too obvious about it. These barriers indicate that she isn't comfortable enough around you, or perhaps that she doesn't like you very much yet. But if she does like you, she will actively remove these barriers by sliding the cup to the side or putting her purse on the floor. If she does this, it means she wants to be closer to you. She may even lean in to emphasize and lessen the gap between you, while opening up opportunities for physical contact. Number 7, asking about your type. There are plenty of flirty questions that girls ask guys to gauge their interest in them, but the most notorious is this one: what type of girls do you like? If a girl asks you this question, it's for one of two reasons, which both probably mean she likes you. The first is that she wants to know your type so that she can see how she stacks up. This is her way of testing the waters before diving in head first, making sure that she fits your preferences before taking the risk. This kind of comparison is something we all do every day, and it often fuels how we judge our own worth. If she hears that she's your type, she'll be more confident moving forward in the relationship. A mismatch, on the other hand, could mean curtains for you too. The second explanation is a bit more complicated. She could be asking about your type to convince herself that she does not like you, trying to use your preferences as an excuse to abandon ship. But even if she asks you for this reason, it still means she likes you, though it is your responsibility to convince her that the two of you are actually great together. Number 8, mirroring you. When we're around someone we like, we subconsciously start to imitate their movements and body positions, a process commonly labeled mirroring. Whether she's shifting her weight from one foot to the other or tilting her head, mirroring indicates that she wants to form a more intense bond, naturally copying you to stimulate feelings of similarity and togetherness. You can also use mirroring to your advantage by creating a reflective signal that builds your rapport. In other words, if you start mirroring her, she is more likely to mirror you back. This works because imitation suggests that the two of you think and act in the same way. Because we tend to favor people that are similar to us, mirroring is a great way to get her to like you more. But remember not to overdo it, because frequent or obvious mirroring can completely ruin your chances. Number 9, watch her feet. Another important piece of body language to look out for is the position of her feet. While this may seem arbitrary, the position of a girl's feet says a lot about how she's feeling about you. If she is crossing her feet, she is closed off, while feet pointed in the opposite direction tells you that she is uncomfortable or that she wants to leave. This is a reliable sign because we position our feet in a way that shows where we want to go. If her feet are pointed toward you, that means you are her ultimate destination. Therefore, pointed feet indicates openness, attraction, and interest, signaling that she is invested in you. Number 10, asking about your plans. Remember how I said there are a bunch of flirty things she might ask you? Well, this is another big one that a lot of guys mistake for a platonic question. If she's asking you if you have plans, it's possible she's genuinely curious about your schedule, but chances are she is actually asking whether or not you are free to spend time with her. Of course, she isn't going to be that direct about it. Instead, she will try to create an opportunity for you to ask her out by emphasizing the fact that neither of you have anything to do at a certain time. This can happen in person, over the phone, or over text, so don't miss out on this easy opportunity to set up your first date. Thank you for watching TOPThink, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.